Warrior Tough. Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch. Dutch.
Oh, I got to hit the Dutch button, man. I got to do it again.
Dutch.
Oh, I love the Dutch button. All right, we're back. Most monumental hour in media anywhere. Get Warrior Tough Show. Leadership and mental toughness coaches Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman. I got to tell you, buddy, I love what we do, and I love seeing the results of what we do. And one of the most gratifying things is when somebody hooks on to the process that we coach them through. They don't push back. They just Forrest Gump it, and you see how their life turns out so great. I mean, there's nothing more fulfilling than that to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question about it. Helping others is what we believe in, what we love to do. And this is a great way to do it because we end up affecting the lives of people in so many different ways by focusing on one way. And that's our process. That's our curriculum. And I love it.
I do too, man. I do too. All right. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one because it really dovetails into the first two, pressure proofing. This is the tool of preparation, which it leads right into anticipation and confidence. It's really the ground level, right? So you anticipate something, then you have to do preparation, and then you get confidence based on the preparation that you did from anticipation. Now, one of my very favorite quotes on the whole wide world, you've heard me say this when I talk about my Fat Key story, right, is from Louis Pasteur. It's this, that chance favors the prepared mind. Chance favors the prepared mind. Yes, there is chance out there. Yes, there is luck. People, they were lucky. They were chance, happenstance. Yes, there is luck out there. Yes, there is chance. There is happenstance. The thing is that those things end up better for people who are prepared. They have a prepared mindset, so when the opportunity arises, what really happens is they make their own luck. They make their own happenstance. They make their own chance happen.
Amen. And that's it. And I when I look at the different things, I know we're putting it in order, but it all comes together. The first few, especially. Yep. But I always say preparation because I always use that test example in my own life where preparation breeds confidence because people are confident because they're prepared. Now, again, that's, what do you call it? Six in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Right.
Yeah, but I always say confidence because I had a conversation with a coach a long time ago. And he says, why do you think those people are confident? I don't know. He said, because they're prepared.
Right.
He said, preparation breeds the confidence. He said, and so like which one comes first? He said, you aren't confident if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not prepared. So he says you have to be prepared. He said that's why those people are more confident than you. They weren't born with anything that you weren't born with. They prepared themselves at this, and they make themselves. It makes themselves feel better about the situation, but they don't have any more gifts or talents than you in most cases. But they've prepared themselves, and they're confident based on that. And so this all ties in together. You can't have one of these without the other.
Right. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, but yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful process,
and
though,
so
when you think about it.
For all the folks out in Seattle, I love you guys, but I'm going to bring this up, right? So the Patriots and Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl were just lucky, right, when he intercepted that pass?
I ain't going there.
No, chance favored the prepared mind. See, he practiced that very thing in practice, and he got it wrong in practice. But because his mind was prepared, it gave him the lucky break. Now, a lot of things had to fall into place. Pete Carroll decided not to run it, with Skittles guy, and, Russell Wilson will pass it, and then Malcolm Butler. So, yes, but he made his own luck because he had a prepared mind. They prepared for that exact play. If they had not, and he'd never seen it before, Dutch, what's the chances of him grabbing that ball?
0. And I guarantee you, there are people out there that have come upon the same exact situation, and they were not prepared for it. So as Andrew said, it's not about the situation. It's about the level of prep, because if they were not prepared, then they can't take advantage of a situation that appears. So you gotta get this. You have to get this. Things are going to happen. And the difference between the result of two different situations, two different people, two different teams, is one of them was prepared when that happened.
And so they made their own luck, or they made their own chance. That's the favor of the chance. and they're just looking for the opportunity. That's really what it is they're looking for the opportunity to use that preparation. And now, look, Dutch, I will tell you, the elite warrior mindset is that I will prepare and prepare and prepare, just like I was mad about my inspection, that all that prep time felt like the first time I felt like I had wasted all of that time. But now I know better. Now I know I'll waste, quote, quote, as much prep time, put as much into that prep time as possible, and if I never use it, I'm totally happy with that. I literally have 5 years worth of curriculum to go do a 1 and 2 day seminar. Literally. Amen. And you know it, Dutch. You know it. I mean, well, and then we have like a 12-week program. We literally have 5 years. We have, we have a 6-month and a 1-year train the trainer program. I've got 5 years, and actually it's growing, so it's probably up to 6 or 7 now because I'm writing new stuff every day. I'm researching new stuff every day. I'm preparing new stuff every day. And you know what? It's not a waste of time. So when the opportunity comes, boom, then I'll pull that stuff out and dust it off, and we're ready to go.
The more training, the more experiences, the more people we come across, the curriculum grows because we base everything on real life. We base it on real life data, real life scientific studies. So the information and therefore the curriculum continues to grow bigger and better, and it'll never stop.
Right. I mean, I'm digging into 3 different, I'm researching 3 different areas right now as I'm preparing, as I'm writing the People Whisper curriculum and the coaching manual, the book. So there's just constantly new science, new studies. We learn new stuff. And like you said, there's new experiences. We see a new way to apply it. I mean, we're taking stuff. I mean, I'm taking stuff from like hostage negotiations, right? And law enforcement, how to talk somebody out of a barricade situation. And we apply it to business, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's all kind of this kind of stuff, not just the psychology, not just the cognitive neuroscience, but we'll take like tactics and stuff that have been used in the field in law enforcement. We take the diplomatic tactics that have been used. We take stuff from, my stuff with, close protection, on how assassinations are attempted. How do we close down threats? All these things go into this. And we're kind of, I say I'm like a DJ or a chef, right? I'm just mixing and matching and putting stuff together that works. But this is all prep time, man. It's all prep time. And that's why our confidence level goes up. I literally, if I had to get on a stage in front of 10,000 people right now, I could totally pull that off without any prep time because I've already had years and years of prep time. However, Dutch, would I do that? Would I just jump on the stage without prep time?
No, absolutely not. Right. Because that would defy the reason that you were able to do it in the first place. So it continues and continues. Exactly. It builds. So at the point that you develop this, it never stops. You would never do that because of the reason that you got where you were in the first place.
Right. See,
so the root of all successful situations, all successful people, if you were to just start ripping away the layers, start ripping away it's going to all look the same at the very root of it.
Yep.
It's going to all be based in the same stuff, and that's what we're teaching you today.
Right. So now I would ask people in the audience, you're listening to this now, and we put our CEOs, our high-end coaching clients, our private clients, I make them read, right? I start them off with 10 to 15 minutes every night in their professional field. The latest stuff. Now, I do an hour, right, every night. But what if you just started with 15 minutes? But it's 15 minutes of the newest stuff that's coming out that you're actually you're continuing this preparation. Now, what would happen if you did that? You dug that deep well over the next 5 years. You'll never be in a spot where you're not prepared.
Never. You're always ready. And that's the thing that people need to understand. Again, this stuff is foundational. This isn't specific to an industry. It isn't specific to a pay grade. It isn't specific to a time. You can apply these principles to anything, any aspect of your life at any moment, no matter what your lot is in life, and you're going to begin to advance. That's just it.
It's just that easy, man. It really is. Oh, I'll say it's simple. Because it seems to be like people have a hard time with doing prep work. They like they shun it or something, like it's like awful. All right, that's enough on prep, anticipation, and confidence. Those 3 are kind of wrapped together, but they're so important to the foundation of pressure proofing yourself. If you anticipate and the thing you anticipate, you do the preparation for, your confidence level will go through the roof. You'll know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And next thing you know, you're not stressed out.
No question about it.
It's just that easy. All right. Now, the next one, here's the next one. I like this one a lot because I use it a lot. But it's humor, seeing the funny side of stuff. Alan Klein said this: humor can alter any situation and help us cope at the very instant we are laughing. And there's science behind that. So I like to, and you know what, who I laugh at? I laugh at me, Dutch. I really do. You know, I could see where we were down in Atlanta and we were doing a full day or half day? We were doing a half day. And one of the ladies came up to me. She goes, "You're a clown." And I mean that in the nicest possible way. But my kids know it. I love shenanigans. I get in more trouble at dinner time, right? Because of the shenanigans but I love to see the funnier side of life. I love to see the lighter moment. I was on Quark's show last week, right? And I was like, it was a good lighthearted show. And then he asked me some heavy questions. I'm like, dude, why you do that, man? I wanted to come on here and just be fun and have fun. And, you know, but I do like to see the funnier side of stuff. And it's laughing at ourselves. And in the warrior culture, we actually just rip on each other. And it's hilarious, and we don't get our feelings hurt, and that's how we show each other we love each other, which is kind of weird, but that's just, you know, how the culture is. But we laugh at some funny stuff. I mean, and it's almost, I wouldn't say it's gallows humor, but it's in some very stressful situations, and it'll relieve stress really, really quickly.
Absolutely. And you know, there's nothing like laughter. Everyone can join in, and when it begins with yourself, you gain so much credibility when you can laugh at yourself, and people see that laughter isn't about targeting, or laughter isn't about having fun at the expense of others. So when I begin with myself and it's created hours, it immediately releases other people from feeling bad if the laughter does come on them, especially if it's by you, because they realize you just got yourself worse than you could ever get them.
Right.
And it just relieves a lot of tension in the room when that happens, when you do it that way.
Right, and so that's why in the warrior we all have thick skin, and everyone, we take shots at ourselves, we take shots at each other. But you're right, we never want to hurt somebody's feelings. It's not about offending somebody, or it's not about putting somebody at somebody else's expense. It's about seeing the funnier side of life. Could you see how this could be funny? How this could be seen as funny? And there's some stuff that is just hilarious. And then, you know, when I was in boot camp, man, like, there was just so much funny stuff. And the drill instructors, even, because they're trying to maintain military bearing and be scary, they would put their smoky down, and so you couldn't see them, but they'd be like shaking because they're laughing and they're trying to hold it in, you know. And Drew said he's, you know, some of that, like he was smiling the other day. There was something going on, and one of the cadre said, "Hey, you wipe that smile off your face right now, Wittman. You wipe that smile." So he reached up to wipe it. He goes, "Now wipe it on that guy's face," which that played. So he's trying to wipe the smile onto another kid, and everybody's laughing at this point, right? Because it's just so funny, right? So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, you know. So there's just so many funny stories, and that's what. You've heard it said, glory in tribulations, right? We've heard that saying, I'm glorying in tribulations. And that's really what it's talking about, is telling these stories where it was a hard time, but we look back on it now and it's just funny because you can see the funnier side of it.
And we're going to get to the next section, but just as a precursor to that, man, life is good, man. And when you can laugh, it just further reminds you how good life is. And when you look at situations and you can laugh about it, and you can laugh with someone about a situation, and you experience that joy, no matter what you're going through, it reminds you there's something good. There's something, when laughter comes, it's just a reminder that it's not all bad. And especially when you could join it with others, and hearing the laughters of others and feeling that joy in the room, just reminds you that it's not all bad.
No, and it totally relieves the pressure and the stress of the situation.
No question about it. No question
totally
about it.
And I'll just tell you, I mean, I've been to, no secret, I'm a minister, right? So I've been to a lot of funerals. So I've done some funerals. And I've seen this process. It's just how the human machine works. So we go through the grieving process, usually that night after their funeral. The families get together, and when they're remembering the loved one that it was lost, if they've had a good, long, full life, all the funny stories come out. And you end up laughing so hard Like tears are streaming down your face, not because you're sad, but because you're remembering all the joyous and the funniest moments that had happened, and you recant them. And I mean, and I have it in my family. I mean, we've got like the top 10, and I could go through the top 10 things, and they're just, I mean, we're crying, we're laughing so hard. And a lot of it is inside jokes because you had to be there when you were growing up, right, to understand the joke. But you could just say the one word, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, right? And it's so funny. So, yeah. Dude, we're up on a break. So when we get back, we'll hit the final one. It's what I call it the nuclear tool, the nuclear option for pressure proofing. Yeah, it's nuclear. Go nuclear. All right, listen to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew.